Yo, what's up, Gemini? Welcome to your monthly forecast for the month of April 2017. Gemini, quick announcement before we start your forecast. I'm posting daily astrology on my Facebook page, so every day head to my Facebook page. It's Gregory Furlan. I'll be posting a forecast for all 12 signs, so make sure you head there, read your forecast, check it out. Make sure to give me a like when you're there. To locate my page, you can type Gregory Furlan in your Facebook search bar. So pretty cool. Check it out. Now we're going to jump into your monthly forecast for the month of April 2017. The sun is going to be transiting the sign of Aries for the majority of April 2017. Gemini, Aries is your 11th house. It's to do primarily with your friendships and your social situation. So you can expect to be a lot busier when it comes to your friendships and your social situation all the way up until April 19th. On April 19th, the sun is going to shift into Taurus, and Taurus is your 12th house. That has to do with your rest primarily, so it's all about rest. It's all about getting closure. It's all about things coming to a completion, things coming to a finalization. It has to do with things that are private and hidden and secret. So that's going to be more the theme following April 19th when the sun shifts into Taurus. But throughout the majority of the month of April 2017, you're going to be really busy with your friends. You're going to go out with your friends more. You're going to be occupying places socially more. And then when the sun shifts into Taurus on April 19th, your energy level is going to come down. But those are the main themes for you, Gemini, for the month of April 2017. Now I'm going to talk about some more specific major astrological events that are set to occur this month and what they mean for you. Right off the bat on April 2nd, Venus, the planet of love, retrogrades so much that now it's going back into Pisces, and Pisces is your 10th house of career. So it started retrograding in Aries, your 11th house of friendships, and that was back on March 4th. But now it's moving backwards so much that it's moving backwards into Pisces, which is your 10th house of your career situation. And Venus is the planet of love, so this has to do with more of a focus on a love situation, potentially around the workplace. So that's going to occupy more of your time. If you know anybody at work or anybody who's in a related industry, potentially this person could be more prevalent in your life during this time when it comes to love and romance. Now, whether or not you choose to move forward romantically with this person in the future, then that's your choice. Now, whenever Venus goes retrograde, there's always the possibility that it can bring in a soulmate potentially, because it has to do with love from the past. But, it doesn't just mean that it's love from this lifetime. So it could potentially be, it's not going to happen for all Geminis, but, potentially some Geminis could see somebody coming in who's a soulmate from a past life. And, this is interesting because this Venus retrograde, it either means like Venus is going backwards because it's trying to say that you're supposed to be with this person, and it's landing, it stops retrograding in your area of career. So it's almost like, for some of you Geminis, is the person like who from your career situation, is that the person that you're supposed to be with? Now, it could mean the flip side too. It could mean that Venus is going back into this area because you need to let this person go. So it could go one way or the other. So you're just going to have to see how it plays out, Gemini. On April 5th, Mars is in Taurus. That's your 12th house of things that are private and hidden and secret. It's making a positive angle to Pluto, which is in Capricorn. Capricorn is your 8th house. The 8th house has to do with your sex life. So some Geminis potentially getting into some sort of affair, potentially. I'm not saying all Geminis, but, Gemini is the sign of 2. So anybody who's involved with a Gemini is probably kidding themselves if they don't think that sometime, maybe, I'm not saying it's happening for every person that's with a Gemini, but Geminis, they enjoy 2 of everything. So it wouldn't be surprising for Gemini to have more than one lover in their life. So there may be a secret, sex situation going on with some Geminis on April 5th or following that event. Now, if this doesn't have to do with sex, then potentially some sort of, closed doors conversation or some sort of closed door interaction regarding a contract or a business deal or some sort of shared resource situation. So, and it's going really well. So positive aspect between Mars and Pluto on April 5th. So watch out for that one on April 5th. On April 6th, Saturn, the planet of restriction, is going retrograde. And retrograde, once again, where the planet looks like it's going backwards. It's not really going backwards, but it looks like it is. What does that mean astrologically? Well, it's going to start its retrograde cycle on April 6th in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is your 7th house. That's to do with all the one-on-one relationships in your life. And retrogrades bring delays, they bring holdups, they hang things up, and it's going to be retrograding until August 25th. So, if you're trying to make forward progress with a relationship situation, Gemini, or, whatever, even if you're single and you're trying to jump into a relationship, I mean, you might have some struggle with it because Saturn's really going to be putting the brakes on during this time. So don't try to force things too much when it comes to relationship in your life, Gemini. Just let things happen naturally. If you have to wait till August 25th to make a good relationship decision, then so be it. On April 7th, the sun is in Aries. It's making an opposition to Jupiter in Libra. So Aries is your 11th house of friendships, and Libra is your 5th house of romance. And the sun is on this side of the sky, and Jupiter's on this side of the sky, and they're making an exact opposition to each other. So they're on opposite ends of the sky from each other. And this is suggesting kind of like a tug of war. You're in the middle, and your friendships are on one end, and your love life is on the other end. So it's, when the sun and Jupiter go against each other on April 7th, it's like maybe your friends are like, yo, Gemini, come hang out with us. And then your love interest is like, no, Gemini, come be with me. So you kind of feel torn between, it's like you want to do both, especially you as a Gemini, you like really want to do both. But at the same time, you got to figure out what's more important. Maybe you do have some sort of pressing social obligation on April 7th. It doesn't even necessarily have to be friendships. It could be, you're speaking to a group of people or something pertinent regarding groups of people that you're involved in, and you need to be there, and potentially your love interest is trying to pull the other direction. So figure out how that's playing out in your life on April 7th. On April 9th, Mercury, the planet of communication, goes retrograde in Taurus. Taurus is your 12th house of things that are private and hidden. So following April 9th, what private conversation, what personal closed door conversation have you had in your life, Gemini, that's coming back up? You've had this conversation before, now it's coming back up. You're talking to somebody in secrecy or in private, or it's a hidden situation, it's a closed door conversation that you're having, it's coming up again. So think about how that's going to apply to your life. On April 11th, there's a full moon in Libra. Libra is your 5th house of your romantic situation, your love life. And this area also has to do with creativity too, but it does have to do a lot with your love life, and full moons bring changes. So I'm going to start off with you single Geminis for this aspect on April 11th. Potentially following April 11th, some Geminis are going to see somebody enter into their life for romance. So there you go. Nice, Gemini. If you're looking for romance in your life, somebody could be coming in following the full moon on April 11th. Now, if you are a Gemini that's in a relationship, this could suggest some changes for your relationship. So there could be some sort of developments, maybe some positive developments regarding your love life for some of you coupled up Geminis. Now, on the flip side, full moons bring changes. They suggest things can't keep going on the way they're going on. Now it's time for a change. If your relationship's been sort of rocky, I hate to say this, Gemini, some romances aren't meant to be. This one may fizzle out. And, it's not going to happen for all Geminis. I hate to say it, but for some Geminis, they might just not be able to hold on to this romantic situation any longer. Now it's time for a change. Now that's, on the flip side again, some Geminis are going to hit a blip in their romantic situation. You go over it and you're good and everything's fine. So it's going to resonate differently for all Geminis. And on April 15th, Venus, the planet of love, moving direct in Pisces, your 10th house of your career situation. So things should be a little bit more smooth regarding romance in your life following April 15th. The only caveat is that Saturn's going to be going backwards. It has to do with relationship until August 25th. So it's almost like driving with the parking brake on. It's like you have Venus that wants to go forward regarding romance, but then you have Saturn that's like putting the brakes on regarding relationships. So it almost sounds like just, keep it light regarding romance following April 15th. Don't make any heavy relationship decisions until after August 25th. If something really comes up where you need to make a decision, then do it. But, this is kind of like maybe you just really figuring out what you want to do with love and relationship. On April 20th, Pluto retrograde. So Pluto is going to start retrograding on April 20th. Looks like it's going backwards. It's not really going backwards, but it looks like it is. What does that mean astrologically? This happens in Capricorn. Capricorn's your 8th house of shared resources. So this suggests something's probably being hung up or put on delay or put on hold regarding a shared resource situation. So what's coming up in your life regarding think about who do you share your resources with, who do you share your finances with. Something's coming up, it's being put on hold, and it may not go forward until September 28th. So where is that resonating in your life, Gemini? On April 20th, Mercury, the planet of communication, goes retrograde it's been retrograding, but now it's retrograding so much that it's moving back into Aries. So it was retrograding in Taurus previously, but now it's retrograding so much. Now it's going back into Aries. Aries is your 11th house. And your 11th house has to do with your friendships and your social situation. It's going to be retrograding in Aries all the way up until May 3rd. So during this time, you could probably expect some conversations to come up with friends who you haven't seen in a long time, potentially, depending on where you are in your life, potentially friends from the old neighborhood, friends from high school, friends from college, whatever. You could see some conversations popping up with people who you used to be friends with. And on April 26th, there's a new moon in Taurus. Taurus is your 12th house. That's to do with things coming to a completion, finalization, endings, things that are private and hidden and secret. So the 6 months that follow April 26th, the new moon's going to hit on the 26th. 6 months that follow April 26th, all this new stuff's going to come down the pike regarding, potential things coming to a completion, potentially letting go of some things for some of you Geminis. Also, new secret situations starting to develop in your life in the 6 months that follow April 26th. That's all I have for you this month, Gemini. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, share, and like. I'm on Instagram, Gregory Furlan Official. I'm on Facebook as Gregory Furlan. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great month, and I'll see you next time.